mumble rap.
I mean, in
Take the out of your mouth and speak clearly, young man. This mumble, blah, blah, blah. Speak clearly, let me hear what the you're saying.
Finger bang, chicken wang, educate, you can say, Lil Pump, Lil Xan, imitate, Lil Wayne.
You think you can disrespect the kings of hip-hop and just walk away? Think again. The new generation of rappers has been crossing lines that should never be crossed, throwing shade at legends who built this entire culture from nothing. But here's what these young artists didn't expect. The OGs don't just sit back and take it anymore. They're fighting back, and the results are absolutely devastating.
That's what's wrong right now. Everybody trying to rap the same style with the, I don't know who created it, if it was Future or Migos, but all them sound the same. I said, had me in the studio one night trying to do that. I'm like, man, cut this shit off.
What happens when you mock Snoop Dogg? When you call Tupac boring? When you tell Eminem nobody listens to him anymore? These legends have been dropping reality checks that leave careers in ruins, and some of these confrontations got so intense they nearly turned violent. The disrespect has reached a boiling point, and the consequences are about to shock you.
I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it. Some other artists that's been in the game. You know what I'm saying? They feel intimidated by younger artists coming in the game, taking it over.
We what you call a mumble rapper. Just yeah. So you say yeah after everything and make it wrong. It don't matter what it is. Like for real, you can say anything. I just went to the store. Yeah. Put a little. Yeah. Hey.
The Island Boys thought they could swim with sharks until Snoop Dogg decided to go fishing. When Snoop and Kevin Hart sat down to react to viral TikTok videos in 2021, nobody expected the absolute destruction that was about to unfold.
Gang, gang, swing. You ain't
Gang, there they got to use that word. I'm speechless. Two goofballs in the pool.
The clip showed those twin brothers splashing around in a pool, attempting what they called singing, and the cringe factor was off the charts.
I'm an island boy, and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy.
I'm speechless. Two goofballs in the pool.
You know why I'm not speechless?
Why?
Because I'm an island.
Snoop's reaction was priceless. He couldn't even hide his secondhand embarrassment. The way his face twisted up said everything that words couldn't express. But Fly as Soulja wasn't about to let the roasting slide. This dude actually thought he could step to Snoop Dogg, one of the most respected figures in hip-hop history. The threat started flying immediately. Fly went on social media talking about how he'd fade Snoop if they ever met face-to-face, swearing on everything he'd beat him down on sight.
If Snoop Dogg would have said that to me in real life, on sight I would have faded. I would have beat his ass on everything. I swear to God, my life I would have. I swear to God. If I ever see him, it's on sight.
The audacity was unbelievable. Here's someone who's been in the game for a few months talking crazy to a legend who's been holding it down for decades. Snoop's response was masterful. Instead of getting heated or taking the bait, he turned the whole thing into comedy gold. The Instagram post saying he didn't want smoke with the Island Boys had fans rolling because everyone knew Snoop was just playing with them. The man's been through real beef with people who actually mattered, so two clowns in a pool weren't exactly keeping him up at night. The pressure from fans was relentless though. Everyone reminded Fly that going after Snoop was career deletion, and eventually reality hit him like a brick wall.
Ain't my fault. I didn't mean to be mean to Snoop Dogg. I love Snoop Dogg. You know, it's just, he's an inspiration, you know. He kind of put me down with the way he was talking about me. So, you know, at the end of the day, I am a human being.
The apology came fast, with Fly trying to backpedal and claim he was just upset about being put down. But the damage was done. He'd shown the world exactly what happens when nobodies try to challenge legends without thinking it through. When Eminem decided he'd had enough of the mumble rap wave, he didn't just complain about it, he went nuclear. The Kamikaze album was basically a lyrical assassination attempt on an entire generation of rappers, and M made sure nobody was safe. He took direct shots at Lil Yachty.
I can see why people like Lil Yachty, but not me though. Not even dissing, it just ain't for me.
Mocked the whole Bad and Bougie phenomenon.
Brain dead, eye drops, pain meds, Cyclops, they big, iPod, Maybach, my box.
Raindrops, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot box.
And even flipped Lil Pump's Gucci Gang flow just to show how ridiculously simple it was.
So, finger bang, chicken wang, educate, you can say Lil Pump, Lil Xan, imitate, Lil Wayne.
The message was crystal clear. If you're going to call yourself a rapper, you better be ready to actually rap. Lil Pump's response was probably the worst comeback attempt in hip-hop history. This kid really jumped online talking about how nobody listens to Eminem anymore, calling him lame and washed up.
Hey, Eminem, you is lame as hell. Ain't nobody listening to your old you lame as
The confidence was unreal, but the numbers didn't lie. When fans started comparing their streaming stats, it wasn't even close. Eminem was still pulling numbers that made Pump's biggest hits look like practice runs. The whole situation became even more embarrassing when Pump developed sudden amnesia about the entire beef just a few years later.
Eminem, Lil Pump, like what was that about?
Who?
Eminem.
I don't remember that.
The most fascinating part was watching M quote his own lyrics on Twitter as a response. He didn't even need to write new material. He just referenced Book of Rhymes and let the fans fill in the blanks. That's the level of confidence you have when you know you're untouchable. Meanwhile, Pump was out here acting like the whole thing never happened, which honestly made him look even worse than the original response. But if we're talking about Eminem ending careers, the Machine Gun Kelly situation deserves its own chapter.
And I'm talking to you, but you already know who the fuck you are, Kelly.
This whole mess started with a tweet about Haley being attractive, which was already crossing a major line. M doesn't play when it comes to his daughter, and everyone in hip-hop knows that. MGK tried to act like it wasn't that serious, but Marshall was keeping receipts for years. When Kelly made that slick reference to Rap God on No Reason, it was like he signed his own musical death warrant. Not Alike was the first warning shot, and it was absolutely brutal. M dragged Kelly for everything. The Haley tweet, his failed attempts at mainstream success, even his bleached hair.
And I'm talking to you, but you already know who the fuck you are, Kelly.
But MGK shocked everyone by actually responding with Rap Devil. The track was bold, reckless, and honestly better than most people expected. Kelly went after M's recent albums, claimed he was out of touch, and even brought up Kim. For a moment, it looked like this might actually be a real battle.
That's gone crazy. Yeah, Haley, you right. Dad's always mad, cooped up in the studio, yelling at the mic.
Then Killshot dropped, and it was game over. Eminem systematically destroyed every single argument MGK had made, turned his own punchlines against him, and left no doubt about who really won.
Out petty who with your corny lines. Slim your roll. Out Kelly ooh, but I'm 45 and I'm still out selling you.
The track was so devastating that Kelly basically disappeared from hip-hop entirely. Within a year, he was doing pop-punk albums and acting like rap never happened. That's what happens when you step to greatness without being prepared for the consequences. The disrespect toward Tupac has reached levels that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Lil Xan really had the nerve to call Pac's music boring and rate him a 2 out of 10 on some made-up clout meter.
It's boring music.
The backlash was immediate and merciless. Twitter exploded with people from every generation coming out to roast him. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Here's someone named after a dangerous drug, talking down on a poet whose work is studied in universities worldwide. Xan tried to make amends by performing California Love at one of his shows, but it was too late. The damage was done and fans weren't buying the fake apology tour. Things got really serious when he nearly found himself in a shootout at a gas station in downtown LA. Someone recognized him, brought up the Tupac comments, and the situation escalated quickly.
Hey, homie, you a Yeah, that's why, yeah.
Xan later admitted he pulled out a gun to defend himself, which just made everything worse. Here he was calling Pac boring while living out the exact kind of street drama that Tupac rapped about with actual substance.
Nothing wrong against Tupac. I never dissed him because they edited the clip to make it look like I hate all old school hip hop.
XXXtentacion took the disrespect even further during that heated interview with DJ Academics. When Pac's name came up, X got visibly irritated and made those outrageous claims about being better than Tupac. The frustration in his voice was obvious. He knew he was saying something controversial just to get attention. The whole thing felt desperate and calculated, like he needed the shock value to stay relevant.
Bro, I'm better than Tupac, bro. Please don't compare me to him. Please don't compare me to him. Please don't. Tupac can't make rap music.
Critics and fans destroyed him for it, pointing out that comparing yourself to legends from a completely different era just shows how little you understand about hip-hop history. The pattern was becoming clear. These newer artists were using Tupac's name for quick controversy and viral moments. But what they didn't realize was that every single one of these stunts backfired spectacularly, damaging their reputations more than helping them. Today's legends aren't just sitting back and watching the disrespect happen. They're actively putting people in their place. Gucci Mane's handling of Ola Run is a perfect example of how OGs deal with ungrateful newcomers. Gucci saw potential in this young Atlanta rapper and actually signed him, even hopped on tracks to boost his career. But during that Instagram live session, Ola started acting crazy, pressuring Gucci about finishing songs and showing zero respect for the man who was literally trying to help him succeed.
Nah, we ain't gonna do all that on live, man.
Man, gonna tell me, hey, run the business, don't try to run my life. What kind of time you want that strong, man?
No, man, hell nah, I wasn't saying like that.
Gucci's response was swift and educational. He checked Ola right there on the live stream, letting everyone know that kind of behavior wouldn't be tolerated. When Ola kept up the same attitude instead of learning from the lesson, Gucci dropped him from the label entirely. Since then, Ola's career has been basically non-existent, which proves that burning bridges with established artists is never a smart move. 50 Cent's restaurant confrontation showed another side of how legends handle disrespect. Here he was, just trying to have dinner, when some desperate rapper ran up on him demanding attention for his music. The guy actually started squaring up, asking if 50 was going to hit him, all because M wasn't interested in checking out his Instagram. The entitlement was unbelievable. Like 50 owed him something just for existing.
Look at my GLEs. Look at my GLEs. That's a hit me, go ahead. You can fight. I don't care. Nah, come on, I don't care about the man.
Curtis handled it perfectly, shutting the guy down without throwing a single punch, but making it clear that aggressive approaches don't work with him.
Like, yeah, I grew up listening to your music, I salute you, you feel me? But when I approached you, I was like, yo, I want you to look at my Instagram. That was it. But you was getting gangster, my hey. Don't fly over here, my G.
Even Jay-Z, who's mostly focused on business these days, still has that edge when someone steps out of line. That backstage situation with Offset in 2018 was a reminder that HOV will press people when necessary. The video showed Jay walking Offset down while Beyonce watched from the background. Nobody knows exactly what was said, but the body language told the whole story. This was a veteran checking a younger artist about something serious. The fact that Offset never spoke about it publicly just confirmed that Jay handled his business the right way. The disrespect toward Biggie has been just as outrageous as the Tupac situations. Kodak Black really claimed he's better than both legends and said the only reason they're considered great is because they're no longer alive.
You were trying to say, oh, I can't put myself in a category with Tupac now. Actually, I'm better than them. You know why? Because I live what I rap about. Them niggas was just like, them niggas just legends, like, cause they died.
The level of disrespect was staggering, dismissing two of the greatest storytellers in hip-hop history like their legacies don't matter. Kodak doubled down during Instagram live sessions, making it clear he genuinely believed these ridiculous statements. Lil Yachty's dismissive attitude toward hip-hop history was even more frustrating because it came from willful ignorance. This dude openly admitted he couldn't name 5 songs from either Tupac or Biggie, then had the audacity to say Drake is better than Biggie. When fans called him out for not knowing his history, his response was basically that he didn't need to learn it because he was making money his own way.
Drake is better than Tupac and Biggie. They ain't got shit on Drake. They ain't got shit on Drake. They don't have shit on Drake. What can they do that Drake can do? Drake rapping, singing.
The logic was backwards. How can you claim to be part of a culture while refusing to respect or even learn about its foundations? These weren't just random comments either. Yachty made it clear he thinks the older generation is overrated and irrelevant. But what he didn't understand was that dismissing legends while benefiting from the past they created just makes you look ungrateful and ignorant. The backlash was intense because fans recognized that this attitude threatens the culture's continuity and respect for its pioneers. The real cost of all this disrespect is becoming clearer every year. Artists who build their brands on controversial takes about legends often find themselves struggling to maintain relevance once the shock value wears off. Lil Xan's career never recovered from the Tupac comments. XXXtentacion's controversy-driven approach created more problems than opportunities. Machine Gun Kelly had to completely change genres after the Eminem beef. The Island Boys became internet memes instead of serious artists. Meanwhile, the legends these newcomers tried to challenge are still thriving. Snoop Dogg continues to dominate multiple industries. Eminem's albums still break records. Jay-Z's business empire keeps growing. The pattern is undeniable. Disrespecting hip-hop royalty might get you temporary attention, but it never leads to lasting success or genuine respect within the culture. What's really happening here goes deeper than just individual beefs or petty arguments. This is about the soul of hip-hop itself. The culture was built on respect, skill, and paying homage to those who came before you. When that foundation gets attacked by people who haven't earned their place yet, the veterans have to respond. It's not about ego or protecting their legacies. It's about preserving the standards that made hip-hop great in the first place. The message from all these confrontations is crystal clear. Respect the culture, respect the legends, and earn your place through talent and hard work. The shortcuts and controversy baiting might get you quick clicks, but they won't get you the lasting impact that real artists achieve. Hip-hop's greatest figures didn't build their legacies by tearing others down. They created something powerful enough to inspire generations. The artists trying to use disrespect as a career strategy are learning the hard way that some lines should never be crossed, and some legends will always fight back when pushed too far.